We need to work on ourselves to grow a genuine faith, a faith in God, that we're not like the hypocrites. We're not putting on a show, but that we are truly trusting Jesus. We are in His Word. We are growing closer to Him. We are praying and believing our prayers are being received. We work and we grow closer and closer to Jesus. Jesus says, and when you fast, do not look gloomy like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces that their fasting may be seen by others. He says, truly I say to you, they have received their reward. But when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face. What's he saying? Take a bath. Get cleaned up. You don't need to go out and proclaim to the world, I'm fasting. Look at me. It's been 13 and a half minutes. Right? Like, you don't need to tell. God knows. God knows. And he goes on, that your fasting may not be seen by others, but by your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. And so what are we talking about? What kind of fasting? Because fasting's gotten a little bit trendy lately, right? So fasting at this time would have been the total abstinence from food. That you would totally and completely abstain from food. And during this time, your goal at this time was to replace feeding of the flesh with the feeding of the Spirit. Right? You would replace the feeding of the flesh with the feeding of the Spirit. I love the way the ancient Puritans put it. They called fasting soul fattening. Soul fattening, because during this time we are to spend time as we deprive the flesh. We embrace the Spirit. We embrace our connection with God. We embrace what He has for us. We spend this time fixated and focused on Him. But the religious leaders during this day, that's not what they were doing. They were fasting so that they could go and parade themselves in front of other people. They would make themselves look bad. They would put soot on their face so their faces look sunken in, so it looks like they've been fasting for a really long time. They were putting on a show. They were hypocrites. They were actors, performers. But man, those people thought they were religious. You see, we have to be really careful in American Christianity, because it is certainly possible to walk through the steps of faith simply in the pursuit of impressing other people. And believe it or not, this is actually more prominent in the Great South than anywhere else. And we are the buckle of the Bible Belt. We are the buckle of the Bible Belt, and we have more churches on every corner. And yet, this might surprise you, but if you look statistically speaking, there are more pornography sites visited in the South than pretty much anywhere else. Buckle of the Bible Belt. Our liquor sales are out of the roof. Buckle of the Bible Belt. We got churches on every corner. We got plenty of faith-filled people, and we're still surrounded by sin. And we're still living in sin. The reason I bring this up is we have to be careful that we're not walking through a faith we don't truly believe. Because there are pews and seats and churches filled with people that I believe one day are going to stand before God, and He's going to look at them and He says, "Depart from me, you worker of iniquity, for I never knew you." So you could sit in a building every Sunday from the day you were born to the end of your life. And unless you have a real, genuine, true relationship with Jesus, it doesn't matter. Your grandfather may have been a preacher. Your uncle might have been a preacher. Your mom and dad might have drugged you to church every single day. You cannot inherit their faith. Your faith is yours alone. And we have to live that faith out. We need to be honest with ourselves. We might trick the world. We cannot trick the all-seeing, omniscient, omnipotent God. He sees through our trickery. He sees straight to our heart. He specifically says when David comes forward and he has the 7 giant, big, muscular older brothers, God says man looks at the outside, but God sees the heart. And what a wonderful thing it was for David, but for some of us that can be a curse. Because we've put on a really good show for everyone else. But God sees our heart. We need to work on ourselves to grow a genuine faith. A faith in God, that we're not like the hypocrites. We're not putting on a show, but that we are truly trusting Jesus. We are in His Word. We are growing closer to Him. We are praying and believing our prayers are being received. We work and we grow closer and closer to Jesus. At this point, Jesus is confronting the hypocrisy, but in about verse 18, he kind of changes directions. And he's going to change directions from confronting hypocrisy to confronting loyalty. And in this moment, he's no longer talking about what you do, but why you do it. Right? He's no longer asking, what are you doing? He's asking, what are you living for? In verse 19, he says, do not lay up for yourselves treasures on earth, where moth and rust destroy, and where thieves break in and steal. But lay up for yourself treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust destroys, and where thieves do not break in and steal. And he says, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So one of the greatest reflections we can do on our life is to look at our treasures. What do we treasure? Because I'll be honest, I lived a lot of my life worshiping a lowercase g, the God of control. And my worship of that fake God looked like a bank account and a calendar. As Pastor Dennis always said, you can tell where someone's treasure is when you look at their bank account and you look at their calendar. Whatever it is that we give the most attention to, that we give the most worship to, whatever we pour the most in, whatever we set in the most of the time, right? Like, we need to look at where we are storing up our treasures. Are we storing up treasures here on earth? Those treasures, by the way, those can be all sorts of things. That can be money, that can be popularity, that can be stuff, that can be items. Like, we store up, that can be our treasure. That really the treasure trove we're sitting on is all the stuff that we have. Look, I got a bag of stuff right here. And you see, if we're not careful, stuff can become our treasure. You know, we need a bigger house, and we need a nicer car, and we need a bigger truck, and we need more zeros in the bank account, and we need the business to be bigger. And you know what? I just need more stuff. And so guess what? We live our life in pursuit of stuff. Live our life in pursuit of stuff. Our life wastes away. And guess what? We never have enough stuff. There's always more stuff to get. There's always more money to be made. There's always more employees to hire. Right there, there's always more stuff to pursue. And whenever we live our life in pursuit of stuff, it will never fulfill us. It'll never make us feel like we have enough, or that we are enough, or that we've obtained enough, or that we're good enough, or that we've impressed our parents enough. No. We'll never have enough because we're storing up treasures on earth, and those treasures pass away. Those treasures die. Those treasures can't go with us on the other side of eternity. Those treasures are not with us. Those treasures are useless to us. Pastor Dennis often tells the story of the tennis player who worked his entire life to go and win all these giant tennis tournaments. And then 20 years later, he goes back to his school to find his trophies in the trash. Because what he spent his life working for, at the end of the day, was just stuff. And it didn't fulfill him. It didn't sustain him. He didn't get him anywhere. And 10 years later, everyone already had forgotten about it. You see, are we storing up treasures on earth, or are we storing up treasures in heaven? You see, when we live for God, and we live a life in pursuit of God, and we serve God, and we do good for God, and when we're actively practicing the disciplines of faith for God, what we're doing is we're storing up treasure in heaven that will never pass away. It will always be there, and that's what we should be working for, is to store up treasure in heaven, not more stuff. We don't need more stuff. There's plenty of stuff. You see, you and I, we are always investing in something. Are we investing on earth where things will die and fade away and they won't fulfill us? Or are we investing in heaven? Jesus says, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also.